When people speak about leadership, they often focus on titles, on achievements, on years of service. But when I think of Tony Smith, what comes first to mind is something far more enduring: character. Tony has always been someone whose influence extended well beyond the roles that he formerly occupied. He had a way of shaping rooms, conversations, and outcomes, often quietly, always thoughtfully. You did not need to agree with Tony to respect him. His views were grounded, his reasoning was clear, and his intentions were always unmistakably sincere. One of Tony's defining qualities was his ability to listen, truly listen. In environments where people often compete to be heard, Tony created space for others. He understood that leadership is not about dominating the conversation, but rather about drawing out the best thinking in the room. That quality alone earned him trust across generations, across different viewpoints, and across institutions. Tony also possessed an unwavering sense of responsibility. He believed deeply that if you were entrusted with a role, whether in business, public service, or community life, you had a duty to act with integrity and foresight. Short-term convenience never tempted him away from long-term principle. Decisions were weighed carefully, not just for their immediate impact, but for what they would mean years down the road. Perhaps what I admired most was Tony's balance of firmness and humanity. He could be resolute when the moment required it, but he never lost sight of the people affected by his decisions. He understood that institutions matter, but people matter more. That perspective shaped his leadership style and left a lasting imprint on everyone who worked for him. Tony was also very generous with his wisdom. He mentored not by lecturing, but by example. Younger colleagues learned from watching how he conducted himself, how he handled disagreement without rancor, how he gave credit freely, and how he accepted responsibility without deflection. These are lessons that stay with you long after meetings end and titles change. There was, too, a quiet decency about Tony that I think is very deserving of recognition. He did not seek applause, nor did he measure success by public recognition. His satisfaction came from knowing the work was done properly, ethically, and in the best interests of those he served. In today's world, that kind of leadership is not just admirable, it is essential. For those of us who had the privilege of knowing Tony personally, we remember not only his professional contributions, but his kindness, his wit, and his steady presence. He brought perspective in moments of uncertainty and calm in moments of challenge. That is no small gift. As we honor Tony today, we are not merely reflecting on a life well lived, we are reaffirming the values he stood for: fairness, integrity, and respect. His legacy lives on in the institutions he helped to shape, the people he guided, and the standards he set for what good leadership looks like. Tony Smith made a difference, and more importantly, he made that difference the right way. It's been a privilege to know him, to work alongside him, and to call him a friend. Thank you, Tony, for your leadership, your example, and the enduring mark that you leave behind on all of us.